Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be solving LeetCode problem 3133. Okay, what does the problem statement states? We have given two integers n and m. You have to construct an array of positive integers of size n where every element is greater than its previous element. Okay, and the result of bitwise and operation between all the elements in the array which we have constructed should be equal to x. Okay, once we have constructed that array, we have to return the last element in the particular array. Okay, here they have given an example n equal to 3 and x equal to 4. So they have basically constructed an array of 4 5 6. Okay, all the elements are greater than its previous element, like 5 is greater than 4, 6 is greater than 5. So the property holds, and the bitwise operator of 4 5 6 is basically 4. So the last element is, we have to basically return 6. So 6 would be the output. Okay, let's go back to the notepad. Okay, so we have to construct an array of size n, right? And every element should be greater than its previous element, and the bitwise and operation among all these elements should be equal to x. Okay, so we know what is x, right? We know. Let's take an example. Okay, the example which they have given, where n is equal to 3 and x is equal to 4, right? We know x is equal to 4. Okay, so there are three numbers whose bitwise and operation is basically 4. Okay, so whenever we are doing AND operation, right, whatever, let's say we are doing AND operation between two numbers. Okay, let's take the same example, which is 4 is basically 100, and we have 5 which is 101, right? Whenever we are doing AND operation, okay, if you do AND operation, you see the common bits, whatever the set bits were there, okay, at any position, whatever the set bits were there in both the numbers, those are basically propagated to the result, right? So here the second the second bit has been set. Okay, I mean the third bit, basically this is 0th bit, first bit, second bit, and the third bit, right? So third bit has been set and that has been propagated, right? So we know, so whatever the bits were set in the 4, right, whatever the positions in which the bit has been set, those positions should be set in all these numbers. Then only the AND operation would result us to this particular result, right? So we know for sure. So if you see in the 4th binary representation, this particular bit has been set, right? So among we want to identify three numbers, right? We are pretty much sure the first bit has to be set. If and only if this is set, then only in the result we would basically have this particular bit to be set, right? So, and we want these two bits to be unset, right? It should be 0 and 0. So these two bits, we have to identify what these two bits should be, right? So we are pretty much sure the first number should be 4, right? So because what is the highest possible number which starts with the first bit set? This is 4, right? So all these numbers which are starting with the first bit set will be higher than 4, right? So we know the first number is basically 4. So what should be the second number? Okay, as per the problem constraint, the second number should be higher than the first number, right? So what is the minimum higher number which is greater than 4, which is 5, right? So we take the first number which we have identified, we basically add 1 to it, so which is basically 5, right? So, and we also want the bits which were set in the result should also be set in our number, right? So we basically do OR operation with the 4. So this would basically give us again 5, right? So this way we are basically choosing a number which is higher than the result, which is 4, and we are also doing OR operator. So whenever we're doing OR operator, whatever bits were set in this particular number, those are for sure set in the result. Okay, so we got 5, right? So in order to so the first number is 4 and second number is 5, so we want to identify what would be the third number, right? So in order to, the same process we can follow. Choose a number which is higher than 5, which is 5 plus 1, which is 6, and we have to do OR operator with 4, because we want whatever result we have, we want the bits whatever bits were set in this particular 4, we want those to be set for sure. So we other bits will basically propagate from this. Okay, so 5 plus 1, which is 6, so basically this would be 1 1 1, which is 6. Okay, so let's take one more example. We have n is equal to 2 and x is equal to 7, right? So the first number we want would be 7, right? 7 would be 111, and we want a number which is higher than 7. Okay, which is, we will do 7 plus 1, which is 8, and we'll do basically OR operator with the 7. Okay, 7 plus 1 is 8, 8 OR is basically 15. So 15, if you do binary representation, it would be all ones. Okay, so 8 is basically how is this has been came, because we have 8, which is 1000, which is higher than 7, and we are also doing OR operator with basically the 7 result, which is the result. Okay, so if you do OR operator, all the set bits in this will be propagated. Along with that, there will be few bits which will be propagated from the number which we are actually picking. Okay, so the final result would be 15. Okay, let's jump into coding. So here we have been given, we know for sure the first number would be x, right? Now we have to basically perform the operation n minus 1 times, right? We know the first number is x. If you want to identify the second number, we have to perform one operation. If you want to identify the third element, we have to perform 2 times, right? So we have to as a result, we have to basically perform n minus 1 times. Okay, we want to identify the last element, right? So in order to identify the last element, we have to perform total n minus 1 operations. Okay, then only we will be ending up with the last element. Okay, so as I mentioned, the result, the next element would be a number which is higher than the previous element, and we have to basically do the OR operator with x. So whatever bits which were set in this are basically set in the result as well, and there will be few other bits which would be coming from this particular number. So the overall number which we are actually getting would be higher than its previous number, and also making sure it also contains all the bits which were set in the result, which is x. Okay, so we just have to return this. Let's run it. Yeah, it has passed all the test cases. Let's submit the result. Okay, so this is one thing which we have to take care. So if you see, the return type is long, and also if you go back to the constraints, the number x is so huge, which is 10 power 8, right? So make sure you choose the right data types over here, which is long, and then if you submit it, this has to be working. Okay, yeah, this has worked. Okay, so make sure you are choosing right data types while performing the operations. Thank you.